Hello and welcome. Thank you for listening. My name is Sarah Baumert. I'm a yoga teacher, Feldenkrais practitioner, and host of the Sarah B. Yoga podcast. The Sarah B. Yoga podcast and my practice, Body Matter, is an interdisciplinary learning space where we explore the many ways that movement can help facilitate body acceptance and awareness, reduce pain and stress, regulate the nervous system, and build strength and ease. My teaching plays with the synthesis of Feldenkrais awareness through movement lessons, traditional yoga asana, creative imagery, breathing exercises, self-massage, and a compassionate mindset to help you feel a greater sense of ease and comfort in yourself. Sarah B. Yoga and Body Matter have a lot of other program offerings. These podcasts are just a taste of my teaching. Each week I teach a range of online classes, including a gentle yoga class, a level 2 class for more advanced students, and Feldenkrais classes with monthly themes, anatomy lessons, and Q&A sessions for more in-depth study. I have 2 new online series offerings for the fall. A Feldenkrais series titled Coming to Your Senses, an exploration of the spaces of the eyes, the mouth, jaw, ears, vocal and breathing apparatus. And my second course, Wakeful Body, the blending of yoga and Feldenkrais on Monday nights. As one student recently described Monday nights, that felt like I just gave myself a massage. So these fall classes will be a continuation of some fan favorite stretching sequences that incorporate bolsters and other props to enhance the poses. There is still plenty of time to join these courses live or via the course recordings. You can find more information about these offerings in the show notes. Okay, on to today's episode. Thank you so much for listening.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Sarah B. Yoga Podcast. This is one episode in a series of short podcasts that I've started by request of many of my students. This podcast will particularly be warming up our abdominal core muscles for about 20 minutes, and we'll work through some poses. So you're going to want a yoga blanket. If you don't have a yoga blanket, a towel would work fine. And I think that's all that we need here today. So you're going to start with your blanket. So taking a moment to find your props. And you're going to roll up the blanket so that it's a pretty thin and long log. You want the roll to be long enough so that your head and your tail can lie down on it. So it's going to be as long as your spine and even a little bit longer. And if you're somewhere where you don't have a towel or a blanket, you don't need to use the towel or the blanket at all. You can just use the floor. So once you have that, you're going to lie the very long, thin, rolled up blanket along the mat so that it goes with the long side of the mat. And sit down right on the edge of it so that the tail is on the edge, and then lie down so that that thin blanket is directly underneath your spine. And then just making sure that both the head and the tail are able to rest on the blanket. It should feel pretty comfortable. From there, place your feet to the floor, about hips distance, and have the knees bent. And from here, close your eyes. Let your arms relax so that they are out of the way. They can move out to the side and the palms face up. And with the eyes closed, let the skin of the face relax, releasing any tension that either came from your day, if you're practicing at night, or even tension that comes from sleeping. Sometimes we hold tension in the face or the jaw when we're sleeping. So just letting some of that release and the neck soften. allowing yourself to arrive here on the floor. Bring your attention to your breathing as you breathe in through the nose. Let the chest soften, let the ribs soften and move, and the belly expand. And as you exhale, the navel condenses down towards the spine. The ribs can knit towards one another, and the chest continues to soften, but now it's softening downwards. The sternum drops and throat is relaxed. And just follow your breath a few times, seeing if you can lengthen your exhalation, keeping it very smooth. And letting the blanket support the spine and allow the shoulders to open. Good. On your next breath in, reach the arms straight up towards the ceiling. You can turn the palms so that they're facing in the direction of your feet. Breathe in. Then as you exhale, lift the head and the shoulders and keep reaching the arms forward so the arms are moving towards the shins. Just drawing the chin in towards the chest gently. And then as you inhale, slowly lower your head all the way down, back to the blanket, and drop your arms so that the arms are right alongside the body. And just take fingertips to the floor. Let's take 2 fingertips of each hand to the floor, so it's just a light touch. And then start to lift your right leg up, so the right leg is in a tabletop position. Your right thigh will be vertical, and your right shin bone will be parallel to the floor. Flex the right foot. Let your head relax, so the back of the head is resting on the blanket, and you're gazing straight up to your ceiling. And then from here, lift your left leg up into that tabletop position as well. Feet are flexed, and you're going to draw your legs towards one another so the inner knees and the big toe mounds touch. So the knees are bent 90 degrees. And just feeling how it's maybe a little bit more precarious now. You're starting to balance here with your back on your blanket. And take a deep breath in. Shoulders are open. As you exhale, lift the head and the shoulders, taking your lower ribs down towards the hip points. And it might get a little bit more wobbly here. We're starting to wake up some of the muscles that help us with our balance, muscles that run along the spine and support the spine. Now, if this is feeling like it's an easy balance, you can take all of the fingers off the floor. Take one more breath in, reaching the arms forward. And as you exhale, release your head and your shoulders back down, keeping the legs there, relaxing the shoulders. Inhale. And as you exhale one more time, lifting head and shoulders. Fingertips can reach forward, sliding forward, or the arms can come all the way off of the floor. Good. On your exhalation, release your head down, dropping the head to the blanket. Shoulders are open. From here, extend through your ankles so you reach the toes forward. Keep your left leg right where it's at, and then start to extend your right leg forward and just tap the front of your mat with your right big toe. And inhale, bring that right leg back up. And do that with the left side, so left toe taps forward. As you take your thigh forward, if you feel your lower back really pops up off of the blanket, then go a little bit slower. We want to maintain this melting action or contact with the lower back on the blanket. So exhale, right toe taps forward, lower belly drops. Inhale, pick the right leg back up. And then left toe taps forward, really reach the left thigh forward. Inhale, lift, and take that again, right toe taps forward. Inhale, lift the leg. And last time, left toe taps forward. And inhale. Great, then release your feet back to the floor. Slide over to the side so you can take the blanket out from underneath. And just bringing the feet back to the floor with the knees bent in constructive rest. Windshield wiper your knees a couple times to the side to side, dropping the knees. relaxing the jaw. And then from here, just take the knees all the way into the chest, giving them a good hug in. Great. Bring your hands just over to the left knee and extend your right leg straight up. Flex the foot. On an exhalation, slowly start to lower your right leg, keeping the lower back in contact with the floor. So if the lower back picks up, then slow down. And you're going to lower your right heel until it's just about an inch off the floor. You're feeling that the back of the belly is growing towards your leg and helping to extend the right leg longer. And on exhalation, lift the head and the shoulders, bring the forehead up towards your left knee. And release your hands, but maintain the position. The arms extend forward. Breathe in. And then as you breathe out, lower your head down. Draw your right knee into the chest and grab onto the right knee with the hands. The left leg will move straight up towards the ceiling. Flex the foot. Feel the sacrum and the lower back on the floor. Keep that contact as you slowly lower the left leg down. Good. Feeling the reach out through the arch, through the back of the thigh and the back of the belly. Lower back stays close to the floor. If not touching, exhale, head and shoulders lift. Forehead moves up towards that right knee. And then release your hands, but maintain the position with the legs. Arms extending forward. Breathe in. And breathe out. And slowly lower the head down. Bring the left leg in. Good. And from here, extend both legs all the way long. Flex the feet. Have your legs so that they're about hips distance. The knees are facing up, toes are facing up, the thighs are somewhat firm. Then bring your hands to the front of your pelvis, a little bit below your belly button so that you can find your hip points. They're going to be these little bony points at the front of the hips. And just place your hands there so that you can really feel what's going on there. On an exhalation, lift your right leg up just an inch or so and try to keep both hip points quiet. And then lower the right leg down. And do that a couple more times. So right leg lifts up an inch or so. And then lowers down. And you should start to feel a small action of the lower belly engaging each time you lift the right leg. Good. And then just switch sides. So your left leg is going to lift about an inch. And with your hands on your hip points, see if you notice a lot of movement there. You want to try to keep the hip points quiet. If anything, they're going to be knitting towards one another. So you're going to narrow those hip points towards one another as if you have a little drawstring on your sweatpants that you're going to pull together at the lower belly. Good. Drop the left heel back down to the floor. So both legs are on the floor. The legs are long. Toes are pointed up. Knees are facing up. Hands are still on the hip points. And then just think about lifting both legs up. You might let your heels move up, but the calves don't need to come off the floor. And as you do that, you should feel, again, the lower belly engages. It's transverse abdominals, abdominals that run across instead of up and down. The hip points can narrow here, and then just release it. And take that a couple times. So you imagine lifting the legs up off the floor. The heels might lift, but you don't need to pick up the calves at all. And then lower that down. And one more time, slowly taking those legs up and then down. Good. And then walk your feet back in so your knees are bent. Let's take the feet all the way together this time. So the inner knees will be touching, the big toe mounds will be touching, and the feet are on the floor. Now push the feet into your mat and feel like you want to stretch the mat forward with your feet. And so as your feet move, energetically move forward. They're not actually moving on your mat. You try to slide the mat forward, and you can drop the lower back into the floor and feel the spine grow longer. And from there, lift the head and the shoulders. Reach the arms forward. Good. And then take your right leg up into that tabletop position that we were working on the blanket. So the shin is parallel to the floor. Inhale. And as you exhale, take your left leg forward. So you're going to reach the left leg long until it's about an inch off the floor. Inhale. Good. Exhale here. And then inhale, plant your left foot back to the floor, right foot to the floor. Slowly lower down. Walk your feet together, walk the knees together. Breathe in. Exhale, push the feet down into the floor. Feel the lower back ground. Imagine that you're trying to stretch the mat forward with the feet. Head and shoulders lift. Left leg's going to come up into that tabletop position. Flex the foot. And then the right leg reaches forward. Stretch out through the heel. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale, plant your right foot down. Plant the left foot down. Slowly lower all the way back down. Walk your feet together again. Inhaling. Exhale, push forward with the feet and down. Lower back grounds. Head and shoulders lift. Right leg's going to come up into tabletop. This time you're going to imagine that you have a wall right where your right foot is, and you push that wall forward so that the right leg lengthens, and then lower your right leg down so it's about an inch off the floor. Good. Bring your left knee in towards the chest, and then take your right arm so it's on the left side of your left leg. So both arms are over on the outside of the left thigh. And reach that right arm a little bit farther forward. Keep reaching out through the right heel. Feel the chest turn to the left. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, plant the right foot down, plant the left foot down, slowly lower. Walk your feet together. Breathe in. Last time, feet root into the floor. Try to push the mat forward, lift the head and the shoulders. Left leg comes up into tabletop. Extend the leg forward. Reach out through the heel and then lower your left leg down until it's just about an inch off the floor. Bring your right leg up into that tabletop position so your right knee's bent, right shin's parallel to the earth. Inhale the left arm up and over to the right, coming to the outside of the right thigh, and try to slide your left arm a little bit farther. Breathe in, and then breathe out. Come back to center. Plant the left foot and the right foot down. Good, you guys. Taking a full breath in, bring the hands right back behind the knees, and just rock yourself all the way forward. Swing your legs around and come up to hands and knees. Okay, on your hands and your knees, spread the fingers wide, planting the hands right underneath the shoulders. Extend your right leg back and tuck the toes under so that the toes find the floor. And really reach back with the right heel. Feel the collarbones broad, extend the crown of the head forward, and as you exhale, feel the lower belly lift. Transverse abdominals get a little bit more condensed, and then start to pick up the left leg. Your left knee and shin will come off the floor. Draw the left knee towards your chest. Keep reaching out through the right leg though. Breath in. Breathe out. Step your left foot all the way back to high plank. So both feet are back. As you exhale, reach all the way back into downward facing dog. Good. Take about 2 breath cycles here. And then inhale forward towards your high plank. Release your knees down. Knees right underneath the hips. Extend your left leg back. Turn the toes under, reach back through the left heel. Root the hands into the floor so that you feel your chest respond, your ribs knit together, your lower belly starts to lift into the back, and then the right knee can float up and come in towards the chest. Sides of the neck are still long. Breathing here. Inhale. As you exhale, step your right foot back to high plank. And then hips move all the way back to downward facing dog. Walking your feet so they're about hips distance. Lift your heels up a few inches. Bend your knees. Push into the floor a little bit more with the hands. Feeling the thumb mound and index finger ground. And take a long exhalation. Feeling the belly lift and hover right up into the back. Trying to pick your hips up a little bit higher. Like you could lift your hips off of your thigh bones. Just take that nice stretch through the belly, and then very slowly start to lower the inner heels back towards the floor, extending the backs of the knees. Good. On your next breath in, come forward towards high plank. Crown of the head extends you forward. Inhale. Good. Exhale, release the knees down. Take a moment back in child's pose, dropping the hips to the heels. Release the forehead to the earth. And slide your hands back so that the hands are right next to your knees. Palms are facing down. Push into the floor with the shins. Feel the lower belly lifting into the back. It's going to take you forward so that you roll to the top of the head into a rabbit pose variation. So you feel the top of the head to the floor. Let the shoulders round. Feel the sternum soften, so it's going to move up into the body. And same thing with the navel. The navel is pulling up like you're starting to blow up a balloon that's right at your belly, helium balloon, so it wants to lift. It's going to spread the lower back wide. And the tail is dropping. Good. Then slowly bring your hips back to your heels. Walk your hands forward again so you're back to hands and knees. Extend your right leg back. Toes are facing down. Just float your right leg up so it's about an inch off the floor, keeping the right knee facing down. The back of the pelvis is level, so your right hip doesn't lift up. And on a breath in, extend your left arm forward so it's right alongside the ear. Good. Growing a little bit longer through the limbs. And as you exhale, bring your right knee and your left elbow towards one another. You can drop the head. Feel that same lift right at the belly. There's a little balloon there. Elbow and knee might touch. Forehead might even come to the knee. And as you breathe in, extend back out. So right leg and left arm lengthen. Make sure you're not arching the lower back here. So you want to lengthen the back. As you exhale, bring your right knee and the left elbow in again. Drop the head. Good. Inhale, reaching out. Set the right toes back to the floor. Your right leg is still long. Set your left hand to the floor underneath the shoulders. Push into the earth. The left leg will float up again. Left knee comes in towards the chest. Breathe in. Breathe out. Push all the way back to down dog, stepping that left foot to the floor. Go ahead. Inhale forward to high plank. And if you'd like, you can take a little vinyasa here, or just bring your knees down and rest in child's pose. Good. And then breathing in, we'll come back up to hands and knees. Extend your left leg back. Toes are facing down, knee faces down. Float the left leg up just an inch or so. If you lift it any higher, you're going to start to feel that the lower back gets a little bit compromised. And since we're working on integrating the belly into all of our poses here, let's not lift the back leg too high. You can even then bring your right hand to your lower back just to make sure that that lower back isn't like a big gully or a big valley. So you're going to expand the lower back and then take the right arm all the way forward so it's alongside the ear. Breathe in, grow a little bit longer through the lifted limbs. And as you exhale, right elbow and left knee come together. It's okay if you feel a little wobbly. Inhale, extend the arm, the leg back out. Good. Exhaling through the nose, elbow and knee come together. Last time to inhale, the arm and leg out. And then you'll set the right hand underneath the shoulder. Left toes drop to the floor. Your left leg is still long. Push into the floor with the hands. Feel the lower belly lift. And the right knee floats up. Right knee comes into the chest. Good. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Feet hips distance. Just take a tiny little bend in your elbows. And if your elbow points, that bony part of the elbow, if it starts to face out to the side as you bend the elbow, then see if you can take a little rotation of the arm so that the elbow point faces back towards your knees a little bit more. Spreading the hands and feeling the inside edge of the hand where the thumb mound and index finger meet, feeling that area dropping into the floor. Great. Soft neck, soft jaw, full breath. And from here, you're just going to walk your hands all the way back to your feet. And let the head hang in Uttanasana. Big toe mound grounding, inner arches are lifted. Good. side. Bend your knees and inhale through a flat back. Crown of the head comes forward. Keeping your knees bent, the fingertips can walk up towards the shins. And exhale, fold forward. And then this time we'll come all the way up to stand. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Bring the palms together, lifting the gaze up towards the thumbs. Then exhale, drop the hands down so palms are right in front of the chest. Let the eyes close. Breathing in, belly, ribs, and chest expand. And breathing out, let the navel move back towards the spine. Good. And then just take one hand to your chest, one hand to your lower belly. Eyes can stay closed. Feeling the movement of your breath through the torso. A soft current, a wave. And then just see if you can move the belly area, the lower belly area, away from the hand that's on the low belly. And feel your chest gently moving towards your hand. And this is going to be really subtle. Just subtle little action and playing around with the breathing and how it's easier to feel the belly move away from the hand as you exhale. And then just let your arms drop down, feeling a gentle lift through the crown of the head. The shoulders are draping like you're wearing a big piece of fabric, a very delicate and luxurious piece of fabric that's falling down the shoulders, down the arms. Just taking about 2 more breaths here. From here, let the gaze open softly. Take the palms back together. Namaste.
Are you enjoying this podcast? I've chosen to offer these audio recordings freely for over 15 years. I do this because research shows yoga, yoga nidra, and Feldenkrais to be valuable practices, those which I would like to share widely. Dana, the Buddhist practice of generosity, has always been a pillar of my business, And more generally, dana is the inclination to give without expecting any form of repayment. It does, however, take a fair amount of time, effort, and cost to maintain and keep the podcasts available. If you feel you've benefited from what you've learned from these classes, then please do consider making a contribution towards the maintenance and upkeep of the classes. It will help ensure that I can continue to offer the podcast classes freely and keep generating new material. Give what you can, give what feels good. If it's too little, it won't feel good. If it's too much, it won't feel good. Links to support the show monetarily can be found in the show notes. And other ways to give include sharing the podcast with others, leaving a 5-star rating and review, or just sending me an email with how the classes have affected you. Thanks so much.